Have we got quorum there, Wayne?
Full attendance.
Okay, excellent. Everybody ready to go?
Ready.
Okay, we'd like to call the meeting to order. I need approval of the agenda.
Moved.
Moved by Mayor Brown, second by,
I'll second it, John.
okay, seconded by Councillor McAleer. Any of the conflicts of interest?
None.
Seeing none. Approval of the minutes, January 19th, 2023.
Moved.
Moved and second, okay. Business arising from the minutes, A, downtown parking. Do we want to go with that, Wayne, or what's the plan on that one?
Sure, Mr. Chair. This item has been around the committee 2 or 3 times now. You'll recall we discussed this at the last standing committee meeting, and the action item for there was for the mayor and yourself, Mr. Chair, and myself to meet with the BIA, Don Allen from Downtown Charlottetown, Inc., which we did. And following that discussion, Ms. Allen has submitted a letter directly to you, Mr. Chair, and has copied myself, which is attached as new information to this file today. In short, the BIA is still very supportive of implementing parking incentives programs in the downtown. They're fully supportive of the forgiveness program, and in fact, they've identified 3 times, I believe, throughout the year that they would like to see the city support and implement that particular program. You will recall that there was some barriers in the past as a result of discussions with the police department due to a resource issue that they had highlighted. And I do believe the mayor has had further discussion with the police on that topic, and he may have information to add with respect to that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
Mr. Chair, just to follow up, of course, this will have to go back to Protective and Emergency Services Standing Committee. Their operational budget is being worked on as we speak, so I'm hopeful that this issue will be part of that operational budget for 23-24. And as Mr. Long said, the discussion you and I and Don had about the parking ticket forgiveness program was positive. It's a good first start, and it's a win-win for all of us. So, yeah, I'm glad to see this on the agenda.
yes, thank you. Yeah, that was a very good meeting there we had with Dawn, and she laid it out, and we asked a lot of good questions, and we think it's a good project, so let's just work with police and fire and everything and see what we can do. Okay, excellent.
Just, okay, question? Okay, that's question, your chair. Councillor Ramsey, just wondered, so the dates, recommended dates for 23, April 1st to 30th, September 4th to 30th, and month of December. Was that the same pattern as last year? Or
I
is
don't
it
think we
something
went in
new?
the spring. I think we went more in the around Christmas time. Councilor McAleer.
So, Mr. Chair, it's Wayne.
Yep.
The only thing that I would add to this is last year, this particular initiative did not actually happen or roll out. There was an interest to do so, but we ran out of time. We ran into the municipal election. There was a whole number of issues at play. The one thing the city did do last year was support a small business week with a parking initiative at the request of Downtown Charlottetown, Inc., but this particular forgiveness program has not happened in the past. This would be a new initiative, and if there's continued support from this committee, it would need to go on to the Protective Emergency Services Committee for consideration, if that is the desire of the committee.
So, and is there a recommendation from you on these dates, or does that still remain to be discussed?
Well, that's going to be up to us as a group right now to do that.
Yeah, so,
So-
Mr. Chair, through the chair, to Councillor McAleer, these are the proposed dates by Downtown Charlottetown, Inc., and we're here today to determine if there's an interest in the program. If so, we would forward this on to the police to determine if they are supportive of this program and of the dates that are being proposed. At the end of the day, this committee is simply responsible for parking rates and initiatives, but parking enforcement, resources around that in terms of ticketing and/or collections is all falls under the police department, so it's imperative to hear from them as the department.
Are you good with that, Councilor McAleer?
Yeah, and it's just more, I guess, to understand as well. I guess it wouldn't necessarily be us that would be promoting, necessarily the three dates. It'd just be a question of, are we in support of what Downtown Inc. is suggesting, correct?
Yeah, so essentially, the letter that's before us today is a continuation of this file, so that's why the previous report is attached. Downtown Charlottetown Inc. is looking for the support of this committee, so this committee needs to signal where we sit as a committee today, and if there is support, it would move on to the Protective and Emergency Services Committee. Without their support and endorsement, it'll be challenging to move forward, as it's a multi-layered partner type of project that needs to be rolled out jointly.
And is that the recommendation we'll be going with to Protection and Emergency Services, is what Downtown is asking here?
To support it, yeah.
To support it? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Chair and Wayne.
Okay, so are we in support of moving it on to police?
I have a question.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Councilor Creel.
Hope you're enjoying the weather, Kevin.
Thank you.
The meeting that you had with the Downtown Business Association, can you give me a thumbnail sketch as to what the issues that were discussed and what the challenges are before we forward the recommendations on to the Protective Services Committee? Thank you.
From what I understand, there was no challenges, because this is a new project that they're doing in other cities along that line, and maybe Wayne can sort of fill us in on that. But we had a little pushback from the police one time last year. They didn't think they had the manpower to do it, but there's no extra work as far as we understand. Wayne, would you like to clarify that?
You're correct, Mr. Chair. There were no real challenges identified from the BIA. The BIA is highly supportive and requesting the city's support on parking initiatives in the downtown. I think it's fair to say we all at times struggle just to offer free parking in the downtown, as you get a distribution of employees, parking and spaces, et cetera. So there's always that balance. This program allows for the money to be put back into the smaller businesses in the community that's in the downtown core. And out of that particular meeting, Don Allen has indicated that they would like to see the forgiveness program launched. These are the specific dates, given we're moving out of the high summer season and into the holiday shopping season, and it's a time that they really see those who are participating in the program contributing to the prosperity of the downtown at a time that it's required.
Follow-up. Chair, you mentioned other cities have embarked upon a program of this nature or similar in nature. I'm paraphrasing. Could you tell me what those cities are that this program or a similar program of nature is being utilized to the benefits of trying to entice and encourage people to shop downtown?
Mr.
I
Chair,
believe sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, could I just?
Yes, go ahead, Your Worship.
Could I just refer to a email from Victoria Horn from Halifax? Because this is where it's fully operational in Halifax. And for the question that was asked, last year in total, we received 500 adjudications. 386 were approved, 123 denied, resulting in $13,500 of ticket revenue voided, and $36,000 funds spent at local businesses. So they saw the return of local businesses benefit a huge benefactor to this program. And Wayne, or Mr. Chair, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know in our meeting with Dawn Allen, she did talk about the possibility of starting parking infractions from 10 a.m. on, allow that 1 hour, I think, free parking. But again, we had an issue where that it would interfere with our parking that is at the Queen Street Parkade, the Pownell Street Parkade, and the Fitzroy Parkade. We're not just talking about street parking. We're talking about an integrated system, parking system, that includes parking garages and street parking. So I think the net result from Halifax, and it's working well, is that it's been positive not only for downtown users, but also downtown businesses. Is that?
Yeah, you're exactly right. She said it would start around 10 if it's approved, and I think she said Downtown Inc. Wayne, maybe I misunderstood, but I'm hoping I didn't. That they would do PSAs and everything about it.
That's correct, Mr. Chair. The BIA would very much take the lead on the marketing, but ensure that the city's recognized as a partner in this process. The other quick couple of things I would add is here, the email that the mayor just referenced, that was circulated by an email to the committee last week, so that would be in your inboxes. And further to Councillor Tweel's question, there was a glance of the region taken into consideration with respect to other parking initiatives, and that was in a previous report that came to this committee, and there were a number of things that other municipalities are doing. But this forgiveness program has caught the eye of a number of other municipalities. They just haven't launched it yet, although Halifax has been highly successful in this particular space. And again, you have that email in your box.
Yes, we all received that.
Okay, just to follow up, I'll have to back and read the email. Could you tell me what position the author of the email has with the city of Halifax? What is their position?
Victoria Horn. She is, I have it right here, it's in the email that was sent to us November 15th. She is Director of Public Works and Parking Services for the City of Halifax.
So she's with the Public Works Department, and the date in that email is what?
November 15th, 2022.
November 15th.
Yeah. Then it was forwarded on to
I
members.
don't think I was on the committee then. Was I? I don't believe so.
Councillor Tweel, the email that I'm referring to was sent to the committee last week,
Yes.
and that was the email of November that the mayor is referring to. So,
November, dated November the 15th.
correct, yeah, but it would be in your
Right.
email box
Okay,
last week.
So that person with the city of Halifax works in Public Works, right? So do we have any more information? For example, we're going to be collaborating with the Protective Services. So is there collaboration in Halifax with their Protective Services and Economic Development and Tourism? And if we're just working with Protective Services, why are we not collaborating with Public Works as well?
Yeah, so there has been collaboration. Mr. King, Mark King from Police Department has been in communication with representatives from HRM. This particular request was initiated by the mayor. He spoke to his colleagues in the mayor's office at the city of Halifax, and they moved it on to the individual the mayor's identified as she oversees public works and parking services for HRM. Police would be very much familiar with this file. They have a lot of the background information that came to the committee in the past, and so there's a collaboration that's underway. But again, at the end of the day, this committee is essentially responsible for rates and initiatives. The actual implementation would be the police department.
And Mr. Chair,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, not
Yes,
to
sir.
belabor this too long, but in Halifax, parking services is I think in-house, one-stop shop entity. So Victoria Horn not only oversees anything that, in any of the initiatives that would arise from her standing committee or the body she's responsible for related to City Council of Halifax, but she is the person that coordinates the whole parking initiative. Here we have police, protective and emergency services, economic development, and I believe public works. So we have three departments that are trying to work outside the silos, and I think this is a good example of it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Just one other
Okay.
question, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so you consulted with the city of Halifax. Did you consult with any other cities in Atlantic Canada or across Canada for that matter? Or was Halifax the only municipality?
No, as previously mentioned, there was a full review of the entire Atlantic region. And again, that was in a previous report that was presented to the previous committee, Councillor Tweel. A number of other cities are implementing initiatives. Some of them are not. But Halifax is the only one currently doing the forgiveness program, of which is being requested by the BIA.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, if there's support from this committee, we would need to, I guess, a resolution or a motion to move this on to
Motion.
Police and Emergency Services Committee.
Okay, I'm going to put a motion on the floor to move it on to the police. Do I have a seconder?
Mr. Chair, I'll move the resolution.
Okay, you go ahead. Councillor Trio, Councillor McAleer, are you in favor?
Yes, I'll second it if you need.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Councillor Trio?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's everything for the open session. Now, we're going to move to a closed session. I don't have that on my phone.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
can I just read it to you? It says motion to move into a closed session as per sections 119 subsection 1E and of the Prince Edward Island Municipal Government Act. And it says a matter still under consideration, but subsection 1E reads, a matter still under consideration on which the council has not yet publicly announced a decision, and about which discussion in public would likely prejudice a municipality's ability to carry out its negotiations. And I believe it pertains to the operational budget, correct, Mr. Long?
Yes, it is.
That is correct.
I move.
Just a question of clarification. So, as I understand it, we are prohibited, the committee is prohibited from discussing these initiatives in a public forum. Is that correct?
If you look at the section, Councillor Tweel's 119 subsection 1E, it's the whole budget, operational budget. It's not just the initiatives. So, and as you know, being on council for the last 28 years, that it will go to council in a budget document. That's when it goes to the public.
So when it goes to council, will we be discussing that in a public forum or a closed-door session?
What, the budget?
Budget.
Well, in past years, March 30th, 31st, budget is presented. We vote on it.
Talking when we pass the budget in an open forum. I'm talking about the discussions and deliberations. Will that be done collectively in an open forum or closed forum?
Again, subsection 1E, section 119, a matter still under consideration on which the council has not yet publicly announced a decision. So the decision that we announce will be the budget presentation of March 31st. There will be discussions prior to that. And if the committee wishes to put them in the open, they can, or they can keep them closed. But past practice has allowed discussions to take place in this forum and then when we do vote on the budget at the end of March, that's a public meeting.
That's right.
Is that correct,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair?
Okay, just to follow
You're
up.
right, because there's always discussions going on, I mean, with the whole group once we pass the budget, before we pass the budget, right? And just say, because I think one of the reasons is, I'll just use this as an example, let's say Public Works, and if it's all announced if in the public, and then let's say there's a street not being done, and then the residents of that street say, how come my street's not being done? I'm just using that as an example. You know, but once your budget is passed, or is approved by your own committee, then it's moved on to council, right?
So, just a follow-up question. I know we've referenced the Municipal Government Act. So does the state in the Municipal Government Act, where we're prohibited to have those discussions in an open forum? I just wanted to get clarity.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Councilor Twill.
What section is that then, Councillor Ramsey?
119, was it A, B, or C, Your Worship? I don't have it in front of me.
Subsection 1E.
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 Okay.
Okay. Moved?
Okay,
Okay.
is it
good.
moved
Thank you.
and seconded to go in closed session?
Yes.
let me know, Cindy, when we're good.
Go ahead, Mr. Chair, we're in open session.
Thank you very much, everybody, for your time and your effort. And Wayne and staff, thank you very much, Cindy. It's been great, very informative. I think we're good with our operational budget. So we hope to see you in a little while.
We'll
Thank
need
you.
we'll need a mover and seconder, Mr. Chair, for closing the meeting.
Need a mover to
So moved.
close.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Twill, second by Councillor McAleer. A meeting adjourned. Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
Mr. Chair.